The Nissan badge alone is not a reliable guarantee. The year and transmission you choose decide whether you get a bargain or a brutal bill. Today, we are calling out 4 Nissans I would avoid, then 4 I would actually buy. Number 1 proves Nissan still built strong. Simple driver cars before CVTs took over. Number 8. Avoid. 2013 to 2016 Nissan Altima 2.5 CVT. Cheap sedans can look safe on paper, but this Altima is where a bargain price can turn ugly fast. We have seen these cars roll in with clean paint, decent tires, and a seller saying, "It just needs a little service." Then the test drive gets warm, the RPM starts flaring, and that smooth family sedan suddenly feels like a gamble. The engine is not the main villain here. The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder is a normal, simple commuter engine when it has oil, coolant, and basic care. The problem is the Nissan CVT behind it, especially in the 2013 through 2016 4-cylinder Altima window. Nissan's own bulletin names the issue as CVT judder with DTCP17F0 or P17F1 stored. That is not internet gossip. That is a real failure pattern, and it changes the whole ownership story. When the CVT starts shuddering, slipping, bumping, or delaying pull away, you are not pressing the brakes anymore. You are looking at a transmission job that can land around $4,500 to $7,000, depending on the shop, parts, labor, and whether it needs a valve body or a full unit. That is brutal math on a used Altima that usually sells around $5,900 to $10,400, with many clean-looking examples sitting near $7,800. Compare that to a same-year Camry or Accord. Yes, they cost more upfront, but the Nissan discount disappears the second the CVT goes bad. Inspection is simple, but you cannot rush it. Drive it fully warm, then use light throttle from parking lot speed into city speed. Feel for shudder, vibration, RPM flare, delayed engagement, or a weird rubber band feel. If it bumps after heat soak, walk away. Only trust one with CVT fluid records and proof of any Nissan transmission repair. No records, no confidence. No confidence, no deal. And as risky as this sedan can be, the next Nissan goes the other direction. It is cheaper, older, simpler, and it skips the CVT mess completely. Subscribe if you want reliable buyer rules, not dealership chatter. We check years, transmissions, repair costs, and the details sellers quietly skip. Number 7. Must buy. 2000 to 2006 Nissan Sentra 1.8. Here is the forgotten little Nissan that proves cheaper does not always mean weaker. The older Sentra 1.8 is not plush, not quick, and not something your neighbor brags about, which is exactly why it still makes sense for a tight budget. Later, Sentras dragged the name through CVT trouble, but this pre-CVT B15 generation was built with a much more basic idea. Put in a small 4-cylinder, bolt it to a normal 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, keep the body light, and let the owner drive miles without complicated transmission logic getting in the way. We have seen these used as work cars, student cars, spare cars, and grocery runners, and the good ones usually have the same story. They are not pretty, but they start, idle, shift, and keep the repair bill calmer. The 1.8-liter 4-cylinder is simple enough for most independent shops, parts are cheaper, and the engine bay does not feel like a puzzle box. Current used prices usually sit around $2,995 to $5,995, with many decent examples landing near $4,000. Compare that to an old Corolla or Civic. Those cars are great, but buyers often pay extra because the badge feels safer. This Sentra is for the guy who wants the lowest cost Nissan daily and does not care about image. Choose this car when you need the lowest price entry point, and you care more about cheaper repairs than comfort or style. Check for oil leaks, rough idle, rocker rust, tired mounts, and automatic shift quality. If it clunks into gear or idles like it has a misfire, slow down. Keep oil changes regular, refresh worn mounts, watch coolant, and fix small leaks before heat creates damage. Ask for receipts, not stories. A clean, boring Sentra beats a shiny mystery every time. Now we go back to the danger side, with the SUV that looks like the perfect family deal until the CVT starts talking. Number 6. Avoid. 2014 to 2016. Nissan Rogue CVT. Family buyers see this Rogue and think they found a smarter crossover deal. But the transmission is why we stay careful. It has the right shape, decent room, good fuel mileage, and enough comfort for errands, school runs, and highway trips. That is exactly what makes it dangerous. Nothing about it screams risky when it is clean and sitting on a dealer lot. Under the hood, the 2.5-liter four-cylinder is not the scary part. The ownership risk sits in the CVT, and Nissan's bulletin language names the same core problem we worry about: CVT judder with P17F0 or P17F1 stored. The key danger window is 2014 through 2016 Rogue, and later warranty extension language covered Rogue CVT parts like the assembly, internal pieces, valve body, torque converter, cooler parts when needed, and TCM reprogramming. That tells you this was not a tiny complaint from one unlucky owner. When the Rogue CVT acts up, the whole value story changes. A full transmission repair or replacement can run roughly $5,500 to $7,500. That is painful when a 2014 Rogue may sell around $5,500 to $12,500, depending on miles, trim, and condition. So that nice cheap SUV can become a repair bill with seats attached. Compare it to a RAV4 or CR-V from the same era. Those cost more, but the Nissan only wins if the CVT is healthy and documented. Do not take a 5-minute loop. Get it fully warm, then pull gently from about 15 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour. Feel for shudder, bumping, slipping, or a nervous vibration through the seat. Do a few stop-and-go moves too, because delayed engagement is a warning. CVT fluid history matters. If the seller says lifetime fluid, treat that as laser talk, not proof. You want records, steady behavior, and no weird heat-soaked symptoms. Next is a Nissan truck that avoided this whole mess by staying old school longer than everyone else for steady owners today. Number 5. Must buy 2011 to 2019 Nissan Frontier. Call it outdated if you want, but this Frontier is the kind of simple truck that keeps a working man out of brutal payment trouble. While everyone chases Tacoma prices like they are buying gold, this Nissan sits there with body-on-frame bones, a strong 4.0-liter V6, and a real 5-speed automatic or 6-speed manual depending on the truck. No CVT, no fancy pretend toughness, just a pickup that still feels mechanical. We have seen these come through the shop with faded paint, scratched beds, and 200,000 miles, still doing dump runs, hardware store trips, and weekend towing without acting dramatic. That is what Nissan got right in the later second-generation years. They kept the formula basic. The cab was not fancy, the ride was not plush, and the dashboard did not feel modern, but the parts supply stayed healthy, and most repairs stayed predictable. Current used prices are not giveaway cheap anymore, but they still make sense. A 2012 Frontier often sits around $7,995 to $15,823, with many clean drivers near $11,900. Later, 2019, trucks can run from about $13,000 to $24,000, depending on miles, cab, bed, and four-wheel drive. Compare that to Tacoma money, where buyers can pay thousands more for the same basic truck life. The Toyota is great, but the Frontier can be the smarter wallet move when the frame is solid and the records look clean. It is not the best choice for luxury, but it is a stable choice for hauling mulch, pulling a small trailer, and making weekend miles without pretending to be premium. Crawl under it and check frame rust, rear axle leaks, timing chain noise, four-wheel drive engagement, and old transmission cooler history. Change differential fluid, transfer case fluid, transmission fluid, and keep the cooling system fresh. Choose this car when you still need a real truck, but you do not want Tacoma pricing or full-size truck bills. Next, we return to a family SUV that proves a soft test drive can hide a painful repair bill. If these year-by-year checks help, subscribe. We are building a garage-style guide for people who want truth before spending real money. Number 4. Avoid 2013 to 2014 Nissan Pathfinder CVT. Plenty of family buyers see this Pathfinder and think they found a roomy bargain, but the early CVT story is too serious to brush off. The seats feel comfortable, the 3.5-liter V6 pulls strongly, and the whole SUV can seem calm on a short loop around the block. That is the trap. The engine can make the vehicle feel healthier than the transmission really is. The documented issue is CVT judder, with TCM reprogramming, CVT control valve inspection, and possible CVT replacement under Nissan campaign PC500 and Bulletin N TB16-120B for certain 2013 and 2014 Pathfinders. Later, Bulletin language also lists 2013 through 2017. Pathfinder V6 CVT models for CVT judder with diagnostic code P17F0 or P17F1. That is why we do not treat this like a vague internet scare. It is a specific, documented transmission concern. When that CVT starts juddering, hesitating, vibrating, or delaying engagement, the repair can run around $5,000 to $7,500. On a 2014 Pathfinder selling around $5,800 to $10,500, with many near $8,300, that is dangerous math. The bill can equal most of the vehicle. Compare it to a Highlander or Pilot from the same era. Those cost more, but they do not carry this same early Pathfinder CVT shadow. A cheap family hauler is only smart if the drivetrain does not have a hidden bomb under it, because kids, luggage, groceries, and summer heat all make weak parts show themselves quickly. Inspection checkpoint. Drive it fully warm, not just around the corner. Use light throttle, steady cruising, parking lot speed, and a few stop-and-go pulls. Feel for shudder, vibration, hesitation, flare, or delayed pull away. If it only acts wrong after heat soak, that still counts. Do not buy without proof of campaign-related work, CVT service history, and a clean scan. A seller saying, "It drives fine," is not enough. We want paper, scan data, and a long warm drive. If anything feels unsettled, leave the keys on the desk. Now we go to the SUV Nissan got right before crossovers got too soft, too complex, and too expensive to repair. Number 3. Must buy. 2000 to 2004 Nissan Xterra. Rough around the edges is not always a problem, because this Xterra was built to be honest, not silent. It does not ride like a Lexus, it does not sip fuel like a hybrid, and it does not pretend to be a city crossover. That is exactly why it belongs here. First-generation Xterra kept the SUV recipe simple. Real frame, squared-off body, high seating position, basic controls, and a 3.3-liter V6 with a 4-speed automatic in many trucks, while some earlier trims also gave you manual choices. No CVT hiding under the floor, no soft crossover personality. We have watched these run dirt roads, snowy driveways, fishing trips, and rough job sites with a kind of rugged attitude that newer SUVs have lost. Fuel economy is not pretty, usually around the mid-teens to low 20s in miles per gallon, depending on drive, layout, and engine. But the trade-off is mechanical honesty. Current used prices for a 2004 Xterra often run around $3,999 to $8,965, with many decent examples, near $6,150. Compare that to old 4Runner money, where the Toyota tax can get silly fast. The Xterra gives body-on-frame usefulness for less cash if rust has not already won. It is a better fit for a buyer who wants trails, gravel roads, camping gear, and weekend mess than a shiny crossover with thin tires and expensive sensors. Inspection checkpoint, check frame rust, timing belt history on the V6, coolant condition, belts, hoses, and four-wheel drive operation. If the underside looks crusty, do not let the roof rack fool you. Rust is damage, and damage spreads. Treat the timing belt, coolant, hoses, belts, differential fluid, and transfer case fluid as baseline service, not upgrades. This is not a just-add gas toy. It rewards owners who stay ahead of wear every week. Choose this car when you want cheap SUV toughness, dirt road confidence, and simple hardware instead of crossover comfort. Next is the smaller Nissan that gets buyers in trouble because it looks cheap, harmless, and easy. Number 2. Avoid. 2017 to 2019 Nissan Sentra CVT. Small compacts can fool buyers because the payment feels safe and the fuel mileage looks friendly, but this Sentra is where cheap can become dangerous. Most used examples in this window use the 1.8-liter 4-cylinder with a CVT, and the engine is not the big problem. The problem is the transmission story sitting behind it. For 2018 and 2019 Sentra models, Nissan warranty extension language covered the CVT assembly. internal CVT parts, seals, valve body, torque converter, cooler kit when needed, and TCM reprogramming, extended from 60,000 miles to 84,000 miles. That tells me the risk is not just a forum rumor. It is a documented ownership issue. I would frame 2017 through 2019 Sentra CVT cars as a void unless the CVT history is proven, with the strongest paper trail on 2018 and 2019. The scary part is the math. A Sentra can look like a cheaper commuter at $5,000 to $10,000, but a serious CVT repair can run around $3,800 to $5,500 once parts and labor hit the invoice. Some Riemann CVT units alone can be well over $3,000 before the shop even starts turning bolts. That is brutal for a compact car that was supposed to save money. Compare it to an older Corolla, Civic, or even the pre-CVT Sentra we already covered. Those may cost more up front, but they do not carry the same transmission cloud. I have seen buyers ignore one small shutter because the car was clean, then come back months later with a warning light and a repair estimate bigger than their down payment. That is the kind of mistake we are trying to stop before it happens. Inspection checkpoint. Drive it warm, not cold. Use slow acceleration, a hill pull if you can, and light throttle from a stop. Feel for flaring, shudder, hesitation, delayed engagement, or a buzz through the floor. Scan for CVT codes and ask for records. CVT fluid service records are mandatory, and I avoid delivery, rideshare, and constant city heat cycle cars because stop-and-go miles are harder than highway miles. If the seller has no records, we do not gamble. Now we end with the Nissan that gives a real driver feel, no CVT, and a drivetrain people still respect. Number 1. Must buy. 2003 to 2008. Nissan 350Z. Now we get to the Nissan that makes people argue, because it looks like a weekend toy, but a clean one can be smarter than a boring commuter with a dying transmission. The 350Z is not here because it is the cheapest car to insure or the easiest car to park. It is here because Nissan got the core hardware right. Rear-wheel drive, a 3.5-liter V6, a proper 6-speed manual on manual cars, or a 5-speed automatic option, and no CVT hiding underneath. In 2006, manual cars were rated around 300 horsepower, and that matters because the car still feels alive without needing turbo heat or German electronics to make it interesting. We have seen these cars come through with high miles and tired seats, but when they are stock, serviced, and not beaten to death, the drivetrain feels strong. The VQ engine family has huge parts support. Every enthusiast forum knows the common fixes, and independent shops are not scared to work on them. Current used prices are not as low as they were years ago. Early 2003 cars can sit around $7,400 to $14,900, while cleaner 2008 examples can reach around $9,600 to $17,900. That is not pocket change, but compare it to a used Subaru Sports Coupe, a rough Mustang, or a German coupe. The German coupe may feel plush on day one, then punish you with expensive leaks, modules, and cooling work. The Zed is more basic, more mechanical, and more honest. It also gives you something that the other must buy. Nissans do not give. The old Sentra saves cash. The Frontier works hard. The Xterra takes abuse. But the Z makes a back road feel special without needing luxury money. That is why clean stock cars matter so much. Look for oil consumption, clutch feel, synchro grind on manuals, differential noise, crash history, uneven tire wear, and cheap modifications. On the test drive, let it warm. Run it through a few highway pulls and listen for any rear-end howl or front-end clunk. A healthy Z should feel tight, direct, and steady, not nervous or loose. If the steering wheel shakes, the tires are chopped, or the title story sounds messy, keep walking. Good cars exist, but careless owners make them expensive quickly, so patient shopping protects your money every time. A loud exhaust and missing records are not personality. They are warning signs. Use quality oil, keep the cooling system fresh, replace worn suspension bushings, and avoid cars that were modified by someone with more confidence than skill. Choose this car when you want a Nissan that feels alive, but you still want a simple drivetrain with no CVT underneath. This is why it takes the top spot. It proves Nissan did build strong, fun, simple machines. You just have to buy the right era and stay away from the wrong transmission. Subscribe for reliable Nissan picks, avoid years, and simple test drive checks. We stay practical, because repair bills never care about badges. Buyer cheat sheet. Here is the garage rule I would use with my own money. Never buy a Nissan just because the price looks cheaper. Ask the boring question first. What transmission is underneath? And can the seller prove the service story? Altima and Rogue are the clean-looking traps. They can feel smooth when cold, then show shudder, flaring, vibration, or delayed pull away once heat builds. Pathfinder is the family SUV trap because the V6 feels strong enough to fool you during a short test drive, while the early CVT risk stays hidden. Later Sentra CVT cars are a small budget trap. They look safe because the payment is low, but one transmission bill can wipe out every dollar you thought you saved. On the must-buy side, the old Sentra 1.8 is the lowest price entry point. It is plain, lightweight, and cheaper to keep alive when the body is solid. Frontier is the truck pick because body-on-frame hardware, simple service, and real hauling ability beat a fancy payment. Xterra is the rugged SUV pick, built for dirt roads, snow, camping gear, and buyers who want simple toughness over plush comfort. 350Z is the exciting pick because it gives a real driver feel without CVT drama underneath. Same badge, different result. A cheap Nissan with missing records, unknown CVT fluid history, or a nervous warm test drive is not a bargain. It is a quiet bill. A simple Nissan with clean fluids, honest records, healthy cooling, and proven hardware can still be the smarter buy. Always inspect warm, then let the paperwork decide too. Click the next video before you shop. Some Nissan years look cheaper today, but the wrong transmission erases the deal. Subscribe for reliable picks and smarter buying.